Hello there, everyone watching this on YouTube or watching it on Twitter. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. This is part 2 of my wrestling VHS wrestling tapes collection. Part 2. First one, Three Faces of Foley. You got Mankind, you got Dude Love, you got Cactus Jack. Very entertaining video. You got Mick Foley sitting down, talking to Matt and Jeff Hardy. It's a very entertaining show. Three Faces of Foley. Shows, I believe, some of the Hell in the Cell match with Undertaker. Shows some of those highlights, I believe. It's a good tape. WWF Super Slams 1995 release video. Here it is. Super Slams. Got Jeff Jarrett, Double J, battling. Adam Bomb is on here. You got Bret Hart against Owen Hart from 95, I believe is Monday Night Raw is on here. Undertaker takes on Tatanka. Bret Hart and Razor Ramon take on the team of Jeff Jarrett and Hakushi. All these matches are from 95. Here's the back of the tape. It's entertaining. That's all I can say. Divas Postcard from the Caribbean video. Released in the year 2000. Got Terry Reynolds on here. Ivory. Trish. The Cat. Tori. Not Tori Wilson. The other Tori. The Tori that was in DX and had a feud with Sable in 99. That Tori. Not Tori Wilson. The DX Tori. I said Ivory, Terry, Tori, the Cat, and I believe that's all the divas that are in here. 5 divas are shown, highlighted. They follow them with cameras in the Caribbean. Postcard come from the Caribbean. It's pretty hot. If you haven't seen it, pick it up at some used tape store if they still sell tapes in your town or state or city. It's an entertaining video. Trish, Cat, Ivory, I thought were all very smoking hot, all very sexy, the 3 of those ladies. Up next, 95 release, confirmed hits. Bret Hart, British Bulldog on the cover. They show the In Your House 95 matchup they had for the WWF title when Bret was champion. A month before this match, Bret beat Diesel for the title at Survivor Series 95. And Bret bleeds in this main event match against the British Bulldog. And Bret, as I recall, only bled twice in his WWF run. Once against Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 8, he bled. And he bled in December 95 at In Your House against the British Bulldog. That was a memorable matchup. Great match between the two. They were brother-in-laws. And it was very entertaining. You got Razor Ramon versus Goldust from Royal Rumble 96 is on here. Undertaker versus Isaac Yankem, DDS, is on here. You all know who Isaac Yankem is. If you don't, look it up. It was Kane, and it was one of his early WWF gimmicks that was god-awful. Then you got six-man tag, Bret Hart, Savio Vega, Razor Ramon versus Yokozuna, Owen Hart, and Rikishi. That was an entertaining six-man. And Diesel versus Yokozuna is shown from a house show. I believe they taped it for home video release only. Diesel versus Yokozuna. Diesel was still WWF champ at the time because he had the belt with him. That match was only about 2 minutes long. I don't remember the finish, but Yokozuna fell on his ass. I think he tried to do the bonsai drop, missed, and Diesel pinned him 1, 2, 3, and it was over in about 2 minutes. Very short match, and it could have been longer. But Yoko was really obese in that match with Diesel. Yoko was probably 650 pounds in that match. Late 95, he was very, very overweight, and he was not looking good at all, or healthy. So I understand why the Diesel Yoko match only went 2 minutes, because Yoko was in no condition to even be in the ring. He was really overweight. And it was sad to watch and sad to see, because Yokozuna was a great in-ring worker and was a great big man. And for his size, he could move around and just about do anything. In 92 and 93 and 94, Yokozuna was at the top of his game. Came in Survivor Series 92, I believe was his debut. He beat Virgil, and then he skyrocketed. 93, Yokozuna, you all should know, he won the Royal Rumble. In WrestleMania 9, he beat Bret for the title, and then he lost it, but again, Yokozuna came back. June 93, King of the Ring, beat Hulk Hogan for the title, and his push was on. Anyway, my point, Yokozuna was a great, great big man, and it's a shame he passed away. He was young. He was a young guy. Next one, another Rock video. Rock, the People's Champ. I believe this was released in the year 2000. It says year 2000, so I'm sure it was put out then. There's a lot of promos and a lot of Rock putting people down and owning them on the mic. Just absolutely owning other superstars on the mic. Rock was funny as hell. He's entertaining as hell. He's always an entertainer. His work on the mic is always great and very, very good and memorable. The stuff he comes up with, stuff he says. The Rock is a legend in the WWE and one of the biggest movie stars today, for sure. So back, care to see. WCW release from the Superstar Series. Diamond Dallas Page filled up bang. DDP, he got really over in 97 when he diamond cuttered Scott Hall, because they were giving him the NWO shirt on Nitro to join the NWO and put it on and join the Outsiders. He didn't do it. He was WCW. He was not NWO, and he diamond cut Scott Hall, and that skyrocketed DDP. Scott Hall put him over. That was huge for DDP. His feud is on here with Macho Man Randy Savage, which is really good. The matches they had were really good and hardcore and brutal and very good matches. Randy Savage was well into his 40s. DDP was at least 36 or older. I'm not sure how old Macho Man was. He was probably 45 at the time or older. Got DDP and his feud with Macho Man here. His feud with short feud with Eddie Guerrero is on here. And what else? I don't know what other matches, because I forgot what's on here. Here's the back of the video. See his wife, Kimberly, right there. Former wife, Kimberly. I always thought Kimberly was sexy as hell. Very attractive woman. Up next, some old school Undertaker video from 1994. Still here, still on VHS. Yes, I still own a VHS player. I never ever use it to watch videos. And the Taker is taking on Jerry the King Lawler on here. I believe that match is from 94 Raw. You can find it on the network if you want to. Casket match with Yokozuna from Survivor Series 94 is on here. Taker versus Krang and Taker versus Jim Neidhart is on here. 1 hour Undertaker, he buries them alive video. Got a ton of respect for Undertaker. All-time great WWE Godfather and icon. Up next, Bret the Hitman Hart video. Still here. Still on VHS. Why do I still own these and not throw them out? Because I'm insane, that's why. So, Bret Hart take Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart matches on here from, I don't know from when, because I don't remember, because I haven't watched it in years. Bret Hart versus Sid from December 96 pay-per-views on here, main event in your house pay-per-view from December 96. Bret versus Vader from a 1996 Raw episode is on here. And Bret versus Owen Hart from what month or what show, I don't remember. But Bret versus Owen on here. It's a decent video. 1991 WWF Hottest Matches. Bret Hart on here. See, he's putting Job Guy in the Sharpshooter, or maybe that's IRS, or maybe it's Bo Dallas. I don't know. I'm joking. I know it's not Bo Dallas. Probably his father, IRS. Macho Man is on here versus IRS. Rowdy Piper and the Bushwhackers. against the Mountie and the Nasty Boys is on here. British Bulldog versus Mr. Perfect, and Bret Hart versus IRS is on here. Here's the back of the video. Team Macho Man, IRS, Nasty Boys, Bushwhacker Luke Shawn. Hottest matches, put out in 91, I believe. Now this is some real old school for you fans out there, and people on Twitter that follow me. This box is giant. Might not look giant on camera, but it's giant, trust me. Best of the WWF, Volume 13. Matches from 1987. A lot of Madison Square Garden matches are shown. Demolition is on here. Has 2 matches on here. One is Demolition versus the Islanders. Another, Bret Hart one-on-one with Raymond Rougeau. Fabulous Moolah's on here, defending her women's title against Debbie Combs. I don't remember Debbie Combs. And the Islanders take on Jim Powers, and Paul Roma is on here. I believe they're called the Young Stallions. Take on the Islanders. Danny Davis is on here, wrestling the referee Danny Davis, which Adam Rose looks like now, and has stole his gimmick and has stole his wrestling tights. And Adam Rose is the new Danny Davis. And at least he stole his tights. Anyway, Danny Davis versus Coco Beware, and then Danny Davis versus George the Animal Steele's on here. Ted DiBiase's on here, paying off fans to do insane, stupid stuff to make themselves look stupid is on here. And that's Ricky Steamboat is the IC champ, defending against Honky Tonk Man. And he loses the title to the Honky Tonk Man, which kicked off the very long run of the Honky Tonk Man as IC champ, which made himself call himself the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. The Honky Tonk Man, I believe, still has a record for holding the Intercontinental Championship the longest. I know he lost it to Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam 88. SummerSlam 88. Honky Tonk Man lost his belt to the Warrior, and he won it in June 87, I think, or July 87, maybe, I don't remember. August, September 87, I don't remember. But Honky Tonk Man held it for probably over a year and 2 or 3 months. He had a very long title run, and that's why he's one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. Next up, DVD, Best of the WWF, Volume 17. DVD, folks. What's on here? Rockers versus the Fabulous Rougeaus is on here. British Bulldogs versus the Bolsheviks is on here. Demolition versus Strike Force is on here. Big Boss Man versus Sam Houston. Honky Tonk Man versus Brutus Beefcake. And Andre the Giant versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a lumberjack match from Boston Garden, summer of '88. That's a very entertaining match that I enjoyed on this video. Best of WWF, Volume 17. Andre, Hacksaw, lumberjack match. If you ever get a chance, look it up. Look that match up, it's entertaining. King of the Ring, 95. VHS, DVD, not VHS box, but DVD. King of the Ring 95 show. As we know, King Mabel won the King of the Ring 95. That was very uneventful, and the show was very uneventful, pretty boring. Actually, during King Mabel and Savio Vega King of the Ring finals match, the crowd in Philadelphia and Philly started chanting ECW, ECW, ECW. They were chanting ECW, ECW over and over during the finals of the King of the Ring match because it sucked. And the Philly fans were hardcore back then. They're still hardcore now. And I'm glad they chanted ECW. Diesel and Bam Bam versus Sid and Tatanka was the main event of King of the Ring 95. Was not a good King of the Ring. Okay show. Wasn't good or great. No Way Out 2002 DVD. The return, so you see it right there, of the NWO New World Order came into WWF. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hollywood Hulk Hogan returned to the WWF and came back, and it was great. I was at this show live. It was in Milwaukee, my hometown where I live, and I loved it. We had Rock versus Undertaker on this pay-per-view, Goldust versus RVD, Kurt Angle versus Triple H. Stephanie McMahon was the guest ref. Then you had Stone Cold versus Chris Jericho for the WWF title was the main event. NWO interfered. Beat down Austin. Austin got a few shots in, a few stunners in. But the NWO triple teamed Stone Cold and then laid him out. Spray painted him, and the pay-per-view ended. I was at this pay-per-view, as I said, and when the NWO came out, the pop was super loud and blew the roof off of the arena. NWO got a huge pop. I was wearing my NWO shirt. Big NWO fan. Big NWO mark. It's the back of the video. As you can see, you can check this show out on the network. It's on there. Next, DVD, Ground Zero 97, pay-per-view from September 1997. Stone Cold's on here. Jim Ross interviews him because he couldn't wrestle. He was out with a neck injury after Owen Hart dropped him on his head at SummerSlam 97. Stone Cold is pissed off on here. Doesn't want to talk to JR in an interview. Doesn't want to be interviewed. Gives a stunner to JR. That was great and very entertaining. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels is the main event. And a brawl breaks out. The match is a no contest. Tons of wrestlers come out to break it up. Taker does an awesome dive over the top rope. High cross body dive. Takes out everybody onto the floor. They all go down. Shawn tries to run away. And then the next month they had the Hell in a Cell match. Because this match, there was no winner. And it was not settled. Bret Hart is champ on this show. Defends against the Patriot. Fatal 4-way tag team title match. Dude Love and Stone Cold did not team because Austin was injured. And the winners got the tag titles. It was LOD, British Bulldog and Owen Hart versus the Godwins versus the Headbangers. Fatal 4-way match. And triple threat match on here. The Nation, Farouk, Savio Vega, Crush, all going at it in a triple threat. Goldust versus Brian Pillman when Pillman was abducting Terry. That storyline. Indecent proposal match, it was called. Pillman won, took Marlena's services for 30 days. Basically, Pillman was her pimp for a month and was trotting her around in tiny little outfits like he was her pimp. And then Bad Blood 97 the next month, Brian Pillman was found dead in his hotel room. Very tragic, very sad. Brian Pillman was great. Great in the ring and hell of a promo guy. Could talk with the best of them. One Night Only, 97. Pay-per-view. It's on the WWE Network. It's from the United Kingdom. I believe it's from September 97. Shawn Michaels wins the European title from the British Bulldog is on here. And that's the main match that happens. HBK wins the European title and became a Grand Slam winner after that. King of the Ring, 1994 King of the Ring. Champion versus champion. Diesel versus Bret Hart. Diesel was IC champ. Bret was world champ. Roddy Piper returned and wrestled Jerry Lawler. They were feuding, and that match was not good. It did not go good. Did not work at all. Anyways, King of the Ring tournament was great. 1, 2, 3 Kid and Owen Hart had a good match. Finals was Razor and Owen Hart. And Owen Hart won the King of the Ring 94, and then he became the King of Hearts. That was great that Owen Hart won it. Old School Tape. Best of WWF. Volume 12. See George the Animal Steel on the cover. Hulk Hogan defends against Kamala in 1986 from the Boston Garden. That match you can watch on the WWE Network. In the Vault section, click on Old School, the Old School shows. That match is on here. Hogan and Kamala. Hogan's busted open at the end, bleeds a lot. And it's a good title defense by Hogan, working with another monster in Kamala. And what else? We got George Steele taking on Paul Orndorff is on here. Tito Santana takes on Kamala. We got King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, Bobby the Brain Heenan taking on the Big Machine, Super Machine, and Piper Machine in a 6-man tag from the Boston Garden. It was in 1986, and it was a very entertaining match. We all know the Big Machine and Super Machine were not Andre the Giant. Andre was not in this 6-man, but he was known as the Giant Machine. The Piper Machine, hopefully you know what that it means, that it was Roddy Piper under a mask. King of the Ring, 97, pay-per-view. Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold in a 30-minute no contest, go at it, great wrestling match. I believe there was no winner. You had the King of the Ring tournament. Mankind and Triple H was the finals. Triple H won. Undertaker defended the WWF title against Baruch. There's the back of the box. Entertaining King of the Ring in 97. UK pay-per-view from the United Kingdom. England, or London, or Manchester, wherever it was filmed. It's Rebellion 2000 from December or late November 2000. You had a fatal four-way match. Kurt Angle is champ against Stone Cold, against The Rock, against Rikishi. You had Undertaker go one-on-one with Chris Benoit. Chris Jericho took on Kane. Ivory took on Lita. Ivory was women's champ. She was part of the RTC, Right to Censor. That god-awful music. Right to Censor had that stupid fucking alarm go off for their theme music. I hated it. Also, Steve Blackman defended the hardcore title against Perry Saturn. Dudley's against TNA and Edge and Christian in a three-way elimination tables match. And then you had Billy Gunn in China went on up against Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko. Entertaining pay-per-view from the UK. Rebellion 2001 November from the United Kingdom again. Pay-per-view that was put on in the UK from Manchester, England. Stone Cold defended the WWF title against The Rock. You had the WCW championship on the line. Chris Jericho defended against Kurt Angle. Or I think Jericho was WCW champion at the time. I believe he was. Kurt Angle wasn't. In 2000, I don't remember. Angle was WCW champion in 2001, but he beat Booker T SmackDown. And Jericho beat The Rock for the WCW title, I believe, at a pay-per-view. In 2001, No Mercy pay-per-view, or Unforgiven 2001, he beat The Rock. So Jericho is WCW champ, defended against Angle. Tajiri went against Commissioner William Regal. WCW tag titles elimination match. You had the APA versus the Hardys versus the Dudleys. You had Big Show versus DDP on here. And then Intercontinental title cage match, Edge versus Christian. Rebellion 2001. WWF UK Rampage 93. All these matches were taped in London or taped in England. Shawn Michaels versus Crush. Jim Duggan versus Lex Luger. Doink versus Kamala. Mr. Perfect versus Head Shrinker. And not many good matches. A lot of matches on here are very boring. But a lot of matches in 92 and 93 were pretty boring. That weren't pay-per-views. Trust me. DX video, Generation X, first released video, still got the VHS, Generation X, 1 hour long, released in 98, there's the back, a lot of highlights and clips of DX and their run in late 90s, in fall 97 and 98. Next up, old school video, George the Animal Steel video. I believe it's from 87. George Steele takes on everyone from Gorilla Monsoon on here. George Steele versus Bruno Sammartino in a cage is on here. Highlights from that. George Steele versus Dangerous Danny Davis and George Steele in his feud. You can see right there showing Macho Man and Elizabeth. George Steele in his feud with Macho Man and Elizabeth, highlighted on this video. I think it's an hour and a half. Best of the WWF, Volume 15, DVD. Strike Force versus Hart Foundation is on here. Strike Force wins the tag team titles for the first time, I believe, is on here. George Steele and Billy Jack Haynes versus Demolition is on here. Tito Santana versus Haku. King Kong Bundy versus Bam Bam Bigelow's on here. And Fabulous Moolah versus Sherry Martel. Sensational Sherry wins the women's title for the first time is on here. Also, women's tag team title match. Jumping Bomb Angels versus the Glamour Girls. Pretty entertaining women's match for its time in '87. Those four ladies did some pretty cool stuff. It was entertaining. And Sherry, as I said, Sensational Sherry passed away. That's a tragedy. She was great. She's very good at her job. And that's a tragedy that Sherry had to pass away. I'm glad she got to go in the Hall of Fame in 2006 while she was still alive. Glad she got that honor. Anyways, this was part 2 of my wrestling videos, tapes, collection. A lot of old school tapes. A lot of 2000 and 2001 and early 90s and late 80s videos. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on Twitter or YouTube, thank you for watching it. Thank you. And follow me on Twitter if you want to be entertained. Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights. I'm on Twitter tweeting live with the shows, with Raw, with NXT, with SmackDown, with TNA, Impact. I'm always on there tweeting during the shows live. You can interact with me, or you don't have to. I don't really care. But follow me on Twitter at NXT WWE Guy. It's my second account. In my main account, follow me at TNA WWE Guy is my main account that I tweet from mostly. Bye for now.